It's always interesting when I work with a different crew, different people, because everyone does it differently. I added Velcro to the mic of the Wireless Pro just so I can attach it to the camera faster. I haven't gotten the call back still, dreadfully waiting. Hoping to hear more good news regarding that footage that I need. For the day, I'm hopefully able to knock out a couple short form, some reels. I'm not sure if I stick to like lighting topics, production stuff, or just a big mix of all. This is the hardest part of trying to grow 3 companies essentially. Cineglow's content is about lighting. It's about the sources we're using, how we're lighting, how our setups go. Autopod is about production, so talking more to the person handling the finances, the marketing, the owner of the company. These are the things that I feel like the nitty-gritty that no one really talks about or touches as much, because it all comes down to how people perceive you and how you show up online. The goal is to make a smaller case. Well, I mean, it's a bigger case, but I'm fitting everything that was in this case. And now I can actually use this for like lensing or something because I do need more space. And then I'm moving over to this bigger case, but the goal is to make it all my small lighting, small tiny LEDs, and this 60X. Because I feel like a lot of the times, A, it takes a lot of space having this, and then I had the other case for this one. Now I can just put it all together. But B, I'll take this light a lot of the times, and then I'll forget these in the van, or it takes more space, and this way I just have it all ready to go. Plus I have my gels down here actually, which are always handy with my new gel holders, by the way, that I haven't had a chance to use. All right, so this is now 60X small LEDs, the gel frame holders, I guess you'd call them, so I can run these on a 1200D. See how much space? A little bit bigger, but this space saves me a 60X box and makes it easier to pack. Let's go. All right, it's like 4:30 already. I mean, day's gone by so quick, but I haven't had a call back for the drive. I'm gonna just call him. Hi there, this is Jesus Martinez. I was calling back.
They're talking about maybe almost 3 terabytes. Actually, almost 3 terabytes of data. So
no, that'll be all. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Just to let you know, it looks like they have good data for you, so I think you'll be pretty happy.
This hopefully will never happen to me again. Took advantage that we washed the van and photographed it for our website of Cineglow. Literally got a freaking camera rigged to the front of my mirror. By the way, this Neewer suction cup with the arm that it comes, it's actually holding onto my camera right now. I have to crank it like crazy, but we got a suction cup for these moments at least. I'm having one payment hit my bank account tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow, it might be the day after tomorrow. So I should be good. I honestly, there's probably at like 6K at least in terms of overdue invoices or just invoices that haven't been paid. And it sucks because I hired somebody, and that's also making it slower on my end to be able to fulfill those payments for my crew, which all this goes back to like the whole running a business, right? And I don't want to be late on those payments. I want to pay them as soon as possible, but honestly this hiccup is what's stopping me, because I gotta pay about, I got quoted $1,500. On the bright side, we sent out our list. I think we sent it out in the morning. We briefly spoke about that. So we were able to send out a bid for a gaffing job. I also got approved for a stills event captured for some corporate stuff next month. So on track with those two. We're looking decent for the month. Two bids pretty much closed. I had another one that was like 2 days shoot, and I just got an email today. Actually, I didn't get to record this, but it got canceled essentially. They're just gonna move forward with either a really slim team or in-house, but I made the connect because They actually told me that they're coming back in December for another event, and they actually want to make a much bigger production, and they're gonna keep my contact so we can plan it well and, you know, make sure we capture everything they're asking for. So that's looking really solid. Hopefully it goes through, because my last December was terrible. I had another job that I briefly mentioned where I had bid. I was just gonna talk numbers here. Might be easier if I share this stuff as well in the vlogs. But for this one, I think I bid it at like $18.50, and that's accounting for like a $1,200. That's my day rate for like any docu stuffs, one person, that kind of stuff. I try to go for a $1,200 day rate, because I'm essentially taking on the director, DP role, producer role most of the time. And it's a lot of things that rely on me, so I want to make sure I get compensated for all of that responsibility. So on top of that $1,200, I then charge my camera rate, which has been steady at $300. I might charge more for a Red Komodo, which I also have. But if I'm bringing a Red Komodo, we're most likely shooting with way more people, right? So yeah, $300 for the camera plus my day rate, we're at $15 total. And then there was talks of doing an interview. So of course, if I'm gonna do an interview, then I'm gonna pull out a couple lights out of my van, some C-stands. So now we're talking about grip and electric. So I think I quoted like $250, since it wasn't too crazy for that. Obviously, once you're doing this, if you're doing it right, and if I don't have a sound guy, now I have to run a boom so I can make sure I have a second line of audio. Because if it can always fail, and it most likely will. That's basically the lesson I've learned with audio. And it's every time I feel like the last couple of shoots, because I'm doing a lot of stuff, I'm running audio, I'm running camera, and the lav went out, or my recorder died because I'm running on the F2, Zoom F2, F3, I think it's F3. And the battery sucks. The Zoom H5, I think it's the other one I have, and the battery also sucks. So I'm honestly even looking at getting the like H3 or H4, I think it's the old version, because that thing can go for days on the same batteries, or just upgrading to the F6, because you can put an MPF on that and it'll last all day. And it's hot swappable, I believe. That's kind of where we're at for the day in terms of work. Oh, I did get that other job for Sunday. Just kind of like getting the producing side that they're figuring it out, and I'd be hearing back from them for Sunday. And Saturday we have another shoot. But yeah, this week is pretty chill. Right now we're heading to Best Buy to pick up that hard drive. Pro tip, when you get a new drive, make sure it is on exFAT before you upload anything, because if you're going to be using a Windows computer and a Mac computer, you need the drive to work on both systems, and it has to go on exFAT. So make sure you do that. The goal for today is hopefully we get all our data back, knock out those edits for that client so I can forget about that, send them out. I am supposed to get my new hard drive enclosure and 2 new hard drives. Following this by Brandon, I think it's By the Way, BTW, something like that. Great dude on social, posts a lot of good content. And he has this one video that doesn't even have a ton of views or comments, which I thought was surprising. But he explains how he just has a hard drive enclosure with 2 hard drives, and he uses, I think it's called Carbon Copy, the program. And then with this program, you're able to just automate the backing up. So ultimately, my new model, which today, I think everything arrives today, is gonna be, I'm gonna be running 2 SSDs that are both backed up, running the same projects on those 2 that are 2 terabytes each. And then at home, I'm gonna have another double backup of those 2 terabytes of the working SSD essentially. So I wanna be running Carbon Copy on those SSDs as much as I can every time I'm working on a project. So I have the whole working project, and then I'll keep one of those SSDs at home where I can also Carbon Copy it into the new hard drives, the new hard drive enclosure that I'm gonna build. We got the footage. These guys were able to do it. I hope I never get to feel this ever again. And this is a great learning lesson that was not cheap, but well worth, you know, the lesson. I'd rather it be something expensive that I didn't lose a file rather than not being able to recover it at all. So Now let's just go edit this thing so we can deliver this project. I just want to get over this thing. I'm going to make another backup, of course, for now. Thank you so much to Advanced Data Solutions. They're here in National City. Highly recommend them. I'm about to drop these guys the best review ever, and definitely a huge shout out because they were able to get me my files that I needed. This will never happen again, hopefully. So let's implement backing up, guys. Gotta back up your stuff. So right now, just go to a coffee shop and work. Okay, so I had a conversation with the people there because I was like, you know what, I'm looking at new ways of backing up footage. So he was telling me that a NAS, or at least a RAID system, he's like, is not your backup. He said a RAID is just, look at it like a really big hard drive. And he said, obviously you can create, like I think it's a RAID 5, where you can create 4 drives are for storage. And one drive, I forgot the term, but it basically can restore a failed drive. So that drive is just chilling there, probably getting like compressed files or something. And when a drive fails, it just restores it and you can swap it out, right? You still have all your data. And what he was telling me is, if you look into getting a RAID, you're either gonna try and get that, or, you know, get like a RAID 6 or something, but that's not the only place where you should keep your files. He was telling me I should look into putting them on the cloud somehow, or maintaining another RAID or a NAS. So that way I can have 2 places where I can have access to the files in case one of those essentially fails. And he also mentioned about, I think it was called a UPS. It's like a battery that plugs to the wall and it's charging, and I plug all my electronics, or at least my computer and hard drives, to that battery. In case there's a power outage or a power surge, that battery will essentially control the amount, like that battery will allow my electronics to stay powered on longer, so I can turn them off if the power doesn't seem like it's gonna come back anytime soon. I don't know if I mentioned this, but if this wouldn't have happened, I would have been now $8,000 to $9,000 I would have had to pay out of my pocket, because I did use that money. And you know, and I paid everything off, like the data recovery, all my business expenses and stuff. But a couple weeks ago, I thought it would be a great idea to pay off some debt. And my tax advisor pretty much told me, be careful though, make sure you keep some for the business. So I kept just enough to where I would be fine by the time everybody paid me, but of course that hasn't happened yet. So my account is chilling at about $100, $200 right now. I have a couple payments that are basically just waiting the 2-3 day hold from the payment providers. So I think I'm just gonna have enough to put gas, grab a cup of coffee, and that's it. It's now 1:50 p.m. I think I've spent about 3 hours trying to fix this file. And it's just an MXF file, and it plays on VLC. It seems like it plays a good amount. Sometimes it will just crash and it'll just close, but it shows that it's an hour long, and I can scrub through halfway and then it'll play for a minute. So I feel like it's not all corrupted. I feel like maybe there's something that's wrong with the file. But I've tried maybe like 5 programs. I'm about to try Handbrake and hope that works. I don't really want to pay for a program because I can't tell if it's working. I'm gonna find out though. If I could at least get someone that could recommend me or say, yeah, I've used this, I'll pay for it. So I'm just gonna edit it. Luckily I have the main shots that I needed ultimately. So yeah, we're gonna make it work. As it is, we are gonna use Autopod. If you don't know, Autopod can edit your podcast so quick, and it's pretty much AI doing it for you. You just have to obviously relook it, make sure everything's good, and yeah, so just gonna work on that for now, and I'll be back in 2:30 right now. Let's see how long it takes. New delivery from Amazon. I just gotta start saving. But I also gotta figure how to make things easier. This is iPhone protectors. This is a new thing that I'm trying. Oh, this thing's huge. So I'm trying to throw all my rags and everything on this so I can get rid of some of the crates that I have. Maybe I use this to throw all my rags. I was originally just gonna throw my Duvetine and like cut up unbleached and just bounce different cloths that I just carry. And I was just gonna throw them all here because I have them in crates. So either that or all my 6x and 8x go here. So I wanted a pouch where I could carry all my 2 drives that I'm now gonna be carrying when I'm gonna have a shoot and need to back up on set. And I came across these bags called Go bags. I think they were like 20 or 30 for both of these. I don't think this is that famous brand, because the other brand that has a similar look is quite pricey. So I'm gonna see how these work out, let you guys know. But ideally, I'm trying to make one where it's like full DIT, and then this one, I don't know, I think I'm gonna transfer over my like, oh shit kit, where I have like my follow focus, just a couple quick releases, Manfrotto plates, just little things that I can use on my FX6, Komodo, on pretty much any shoot. They come very handy. This is gonna be my hard drive enclosure, which I think it actually can become a NAS too. Oh, it's 4-bit? I got this because of Brandon, by the way, I think it is, Brandon BTW. And this is gonna be how I'm gonna manage my media now. So yeah, new stuff.
Yo voy a pegar una. Oh!
All right, so we picked up some tennis balls because we were running out. Last time I was on a set where we needed to use them. If you do know, tennis balls will help you not scratch very expensive floors, because sometimes you're working in some insane houses. We have to head over to the studio to pick up a couple sources that we need. We need 1200D and the spotlight. I took it out the other day. I typically keep all my spotlights in here and some sources that just are easier to maneuver. The van is small. That's been, you know, the topic of, do I get a bigger van? But again, I'm gonna just wait to get more ongoing work with the van. Like, yeah, I mean, it's pretty good, but it's usually only my network. So yesterday, I don't think I documented it, I ended up picking up another job. This is gonna be a simple interview for next week. It's a simple shoot, but even the simple shoots, when it's like high profile, like, you know, a CEO or something like that, their time is so limited that you have to be way before the time that they're there. You have to be ready to go. And if you're not ready to go, you know, 20 minutes or you're right on the dot, you know, it just looks bad. And then things always happen, you know, you start laving someone and then the mic was just dead. So now you gotta go find your batteries and you left them in the van, things like that. Luckily, we're getting a sound guy on this, I believe, which is pretty freaking rare, but now I'm just gonna be bringing it up every time, you know. If you have the budget, I would love to have a sound guy. If not, we'll make it work. Call time is like 9 a.m. today, which is pretty rare. Usually it's like 7, 8, 6, 6:30. But it's today we're shooting in La Jolla. It looks like a really nice house too, so we gotta be super careful. We ran the 1200D and look at these gel holders. Shout out to Gaffer and Gear on YouTube. For most of the day, we were running the F22C as our key and this 200X with the Fresnel as kind of like a hard edge or so. We also used both the 1200D gelled with the frame and another 600D Pro with gelled as well with the Fresnel. And look at these nets come so handy. We were able to slow down the exterior light because we turned this one into a night scene, if I remember correctly. All right, so we wrapped up. Shoot was pretty chill. It was actually, we wrapped up like around, what was it, like 3:30? Yeah, 3:30. It was like an hour to get home. Pretty close to getting there. It's always interesting when I work with a different crew, different people, because everyone does it different, right? And this time I got to work with my buddy Lucas Cardoso. We've been kind of like tag teaming where we worked, this was maybe like 6 months ago. I was able to bring him on as a gaffer. I DP'd, it was great. It went great. And it's always awesome having a DP gaffer too, or you know, someone that's knowledgeable, that has more experience too, and behind the camera, because it's like, I feel like you can tag along ideas, or you know, you get really good comment, really good input. Solid day. Also interesting seeing how he works. My buddy Lucas, he's turns his temperature much cooler to play with that daylight and change the tones, which is pretty interesting seeing that. And I think I might start doing that if I remember on a future shoot. But yeah, we're home now. That's pretty much the whole day, honestly. I'm gonna see what I do on the next 2 days. I still really wanna go down to Mexico and shoot that Ensenada spot I've been talking about forever. We'll see what I do. If anything, I'm just gonna spend at least editing the whole day, and maybe I get a project in, I don't know. We'll find out. Updates on work. I did have 2 days. One is for stills. I think it's like already next week, is it? I don't know, but we're looking already into September. Next week, I think I mentioned this, I picked up an interview day, and I have 2 days of prep day, and then a shoot day, and then I have an editing day essentially. So now we had nothing on that week, now it's 4 days, and everything's confirmed now, so doing good. The week after that is when I got booked for 1 day shooting stills, about 2 hours shoot, pretty easy. And then the week after that, I had a gaffing gig. That's all I had for the next month. But I just got some new inquiries with the previous client, and they're basically booking me for like a whole week. I'm gonna be going to North Carolina, I think it is. And then another day of an interview, that one's still a maybe. So we're gonna see how we make it all work out. The benefits are kind of like the goal of what I'm doing is, one, as I work as an agency, I can sub the work out to other buddies that I work with often and I trust. So I still keep working with that client, and you know, we all make money and I get to manage the project. So that helps out a ton. And then on the lighting side, that's also why I wanted to create Cineglow, is because it's not my face. It's not just me working it. I can bring on people to work with my van or with my equipment. So yeah, just touching on that. I did want to go over some stuff I got. So the hard drive enclosure showed up. This is it right here. I was also advised to get the UPS, an uninterrupted power supply, but haven't really dove into this to see how much wattage it pulls, because I guess you have to buy your power supply according to the wattage you're gonna need. I was hoping to get this done today, but today I'm on dad duty and I gotta pick up my younger daughter in about an hour. Of course, I bought from B&H. I buy from there quite often. All right, so I bought another 2 terabyte SSD. The idea is to have 2 SSDs on set whenever I'm shooting something, so I can do double backup to those 2 SSDs, and then when I get home, I can leave one backing up, and I can even take one to just start editing. Honestly, I don't even know if I should be buying the same drives after what happened, but here's another 8 terabyte Iron Wolf. So this is gonna give me 2 8 terabyte drives that I'm gonna leave on that hard drive enclosure. So I think I will be fine with that for now. Just the setup is gonna take me forever. So the hard drive enclosure was actually pretty easy to set up. It comes with these brackets that you just screw onto your drives, so you're able to slide them in easier and pull them out faster. It seems like that's what it's for. After you literally plug these in, you just plug the drive to your computer and it just pops up as individual drives. And I just labeled them. I think I went with A1 and A2, so I know they're both the same ones. And I just plan on copying whatever I use to A1 and then carbon copy the A1 to the A2. And that would give me 2 perfect copies of whatever I put up there. So we shot an event yesterday. My wife picked up a wedding and it was great. It was super cool, fun people. That's always fun when you shoot events, when everyone's really chill. Now today we got some interviews at USD. I don't know who or what, but it's pretty much like a 1-2 hour gig at the most. They just gotta set up, film the interviews, and then I'm out. So this was supposed to be a simple setup, but because the sun was already out and the shade was way too dark and no way to get power, we ended up just rigging a 6x6. And by we, I mean I ended up rigging a 6x6 frame because it was supposed to only have 1 person, but things ended up turning out. And my 6x6 frame push pin that holds these from Matthews was bent. I had to throw a Cardellini, improvise, and this was actually solid. I threw both of these rags because I only had a quarter and it felt like it wasn't doing enough. I think I just needed the frame higher so I could get the source a little bit higher. But it worked out. Threw this duve, clipped it, got some neck, and I ended up scrapping that white silk that I had in front of camera. But this was the setup and the client was happy. See you on the next video. Peace.